In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Ruger SR1911, in particular, the Commander lightweight model. The Ruger 1911 series were first released, the SR series, back in 2011. And they've come out with a number of variants over the years, including the one that we're going to be discussing in more detail here today. If you've watched any of the reviews over the years about the Ruger SRs, there were a couple videos that were out there that, especially on the lightweight Commander series, that had some failed to feed issues. And this is one of the reasons why I usually don't buy first generation pistols when they come out, so I can let the vendors kind of work out the issues that they have. And I think that's the case of what we have here today with the Ruger. So looking at the 1911s, if you're not as familiar with the 1911 models, the traditional 1911s that John Moses Browning produced way back over 100 years ago, it first came out in the 5-inch models. And then of course you had various variants after that, including the Commander series, which came in just a little bit shorter on the barrel length. So they came in around 4¼ inches as opposed to the 5-inch models. And these became popular, especially for carry options. And then over the years, you've seen other types of variants of 1911s come out as well, including very popular ones from Springfield and Kimber, which were the 4-inch models, which are just a little bit shorter than the Commander here. So you can see it's a ¼ inch difference in the barrel length, which might not seem like much, but actually it does make a bit of a difference, at least to me, since I'm more of a traditionalist. So one of the first pistols I ever owned was the Colt Lightweight Combat Commanders, the Series 80 pistol that you see here on the table, and I still have it to this day. The only changes I made to this Commander model over the years is putting on Novak sights as well as a flat spring box housing. Short of that, it's still almost the exact same stock pistol that I purchased over 3 decades ago. And it's always been one of my favorite pistols over time. And as I've collected and shot 1911s over the years, I've come to appreciate all of them. The Kimber is the 5-inch model, as we talked about here. And again, you can see some of the differences here in length. Again, it comes in a 3/4 inch, just a little bit shorter. But there's give and take for everything that you have. And again, one of the things I like the most about the Commander series models are the fact that, especially in the lightweight configurations, it's very easy to carry. You've got a lot of firepower and controllability and accuracy. It's just a really good balance between all of those. So again, I'm a traditionalist. I like the 1911s the way that they are. Over the years, we've seen evolutions not only in the lengths of the barrels, but also the lengths of the grips. All of these are standard size grips, but you're going to see things like, and all my pistols in a safety check, some of them now include, for example, the recoil rods. And you'll also see these in these Champion series as well. You'll also notice that, for example, the bushings that were traditionally on a 1911 have been replaced with some of these, which now have a larger, bold, tapered barrel as well, which again adds weight to the pistol. Or you can have the traditional configuration, which I prefer, which is the barrel bushing and then the spring housing, which is what we have here today on the Ruger, because many of the new shorter versions, the shorter Commander style versions coming out today are the 4-inch models. Ruger decided to go back to the books and come out with the traditional 4¼ inch Commander models, which is what I prefer. Now, when you look at some of the features on the 1911, the SR 1911 lightweight, first off, it comes in a lightweight anodized aluminum frame. The slide is a low glare stainless steel, which is what I prefer. The barrel and the bushing are both cut from the same bar stock on the same machine. So this is supposed to add to the accuracy of the pistol, which I'll show you in a moment how that worked for me. They also come with these slim profile Coca-Cola grips, which I absolutely love. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, well, I really can't see that big of a difference on the slim profile, but when you put them up next to the standard profile grips, you can see the difference here. But when you feel it is when you really notice the difference. Now, if you've got a larger hand, a larger paw, these standard size grips might be fine for you. But I have average size hands, and I can tell you the first time I picked up these slimline grips, I really loved them. The fit and the purchase on the pistol was just great for me, and I really like them. It also comes with an oversized beaver tail safety as well as an extended thumb safety. It also comes with Novak 3-dot sights. And one of the other things I really liked, especially out of the box about this pistol, was the trigger pull. It comes with a skeletonized trigger, but when I put the trigger pull onto my Lyman gauge, it comes in around 3 pounds 12 ounces, which for a stock 1911 is excellent. I have a competition trigger on my Kimber that pulls at about the same amount, but this is how it came out of the box. Another nice little feature is they inserted a titanium feed ramp onto the frame. So in this case, for example, when the bullets or the rounds feed up into the chamber, one of the concerns with traditional aluminum frame 1911s is would hollow points especially, would they eat away or chip away at the aluminum frame? So one of the things that Ruger did here, which was very smart, and I know it's hard to see here on the camera, but in here is the frame and the titanium insert on there. And it really makes for a very effective as well as very reliable feeding system, which will allow this pistol to last a lot longer than maybe traditional lightweight Commander models that might have that problem with the rounds chipping into them. So when we looked at some of the size differences here as far as length, let's also look at some of the weight differences as well. So for example, this is my traditional old Colt lightweight combat Commander, and this comes in at 1 pound 10.5 ounces, which is almost the identical weight now of the Ruger, which is 1 pound 10.5 ounces. Now compare that, for example, to an all steel Champion model Springfield, which comes in at 2 pounds 2.5 ounces, and then the more traditional all steel 1911 models, which come in around 2 pounds 3 ounces. So as you can see, there's a considerable weight difference, which is what makes the lightweight Commanders a really good balance between concealed carry, accuracy, controllability. Now, how well does the SR 1911 fire? Well, the first thing is, as I mentioned earlier, there were some initial reviews about some fail to feed issues. I put over 100 rounds into the pistol. I've had 0 fail to feed issues with this. I did all different types of firing styles, 0 problems whatsoever. Another thing that I did is I polished the feed ramp on the barrel as well as the frame as well, just to make sure that it was more reliable. And here's the type of groups I got shooting offhand. Now, just a quick note, this is shooting standing offhand. This is how I always test pistols. Most pistols are going to shoot a hell of a lot more accurate than you are. So I just want to see how I fire them. And it's not only a function of how good the gun is accurate-wise, but how good am I at shooting them relative to other guns. So at 25 feet, this is the first 5-shot group that I put through the SR 1911, and then at 50 feet it was almost the exact same size group. So I really got great accuracy out of this pistol, especially for a 1911. Now, what are some of the improvements I would have liked to have seen on the pistol if I had the choice? The first thing is when I buy 1911s, I tend to like to have the front straps checkered. That wasn't an option that they provide in a lot of 1911s, including this pistol. It's more of the smooth model, and if you've ever fired one, especially when your hands get sweaty and things like that, you know what I'm talking about. Is it a problem? Is it a detriment? No, I can still fire and control it. I would just prefer to have the front checkering if I can. Another thing that I liked about my old Colt model was they had a little bit of an undercut here on the grip. That is absent on this pistol as well. Again, is it a deal breaker? No, but it would have been nice if Ruger would have made that bit of an undercut there. That would have improved the pistol as well. If you do buy this pistol and start firing, another thing that I noticed was after about 30 to 40 rounds, the grip started coming loose. So one of the other suggestions I would make is take some thread lock, some blue thread lock, and then put them on the threads and for the grips. And that way you can help eliminate this problem from happening again. So all in all, this is one of my favorite pistols. I don't do a lot of reviews on 1911s because a lot of people say, hey, what's the difference? You know, there's high and low end, things like that. That's true. But I've always loved the Commander models of the 1911s, as witnessed by the first one I still own today. But what I did decide to do was I figured Ruger got to the point where hopefully they have refined this to the point where this will now be the replacement for my old Commander model. I wouldn't get rid of it, but something I would now consider carrying and using. And based upon everything I've seen with the pistol as far as the features, the functionality, everything, I absolutely love it. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the reviews today. So if you're looking at a 1911, especially a Commander type model, just understand now some of the differences between them as far as the weight, the accuracy, the different types of options you have as far as barrels and bushing configurations and things of that nature. But in this case, in particular, I think Ruger really nailed it out of the park, and I think the value here is really good on the Ruger SR 1911. If you like this video or you like this channel, please like us on YouTube, and thanks for watching.